Now due to you, and I want to talk about what Trump is doing, and it's pretty obvious. It's just a hack, right? And how easy it would be for him to monetize yet another thing. And this would be completely how Trump would think, right? So there's something known as dark money, and there are entities that you can set up that you cannot track who donated money to it. So here's how easy it is would be for Trump to sell pardons. And this is obviously what he's doing, right? To the Blackwater people, they have tons of money. Also, they have connections through Nancy DeVos. Her son, Prince, was a CEO, maybe the founder, can't remember, of Blackwater, but he's a very powerful individual. And he would have ways in there. So here is the hack. How would you sell pardons for cash, right? Number one is you already have a super PAC set up, which Trump has, and he's fleecing his 75 million followers by simply telling them, hey, help fight the legal battles, even though they've lost pretty much 99% of all their legal fights because it's all bullshit. And he's raised over $250 million. And in the fine print, if you read it, it says 70% of everything he can do whatever he wants with, right? So that's number one. Number two, then, is you have people that are that are true supporters of Trump. I mean, like real loyalists out there saying, listen, if you, through a proxy, which is another, untraceable dark money PAC, donate to it, and I know that you did, and just basically say, hey, I just put, $5 million in from this proxy into the account. Yes, it was there. Was there yeah, it was from this PAC. There's no way of tracing where that money came from, thanks to our Supreme Court that has done that. That has basically turned corporate, America into United Corporate America States or whatever of America. Then obviously you can get a pardon. So it would be impossible to trace the money, right? Or not impossible, it'd be very hard. People need to be looking at this now that I'm making this video. People be looking at the people who in the company, everything else. Did this company donate to something? Is there, because these companies have to, a company, it's hard for them to hide the money. So you could technically see if someone gave money. I mean, a smart journalist, like they did with the Panama, was it Panama Files or something, whatever it is, and ultimately you can trace that money back to that individual, but you need to start looking. I believe Trump is obviously doing pardons for cash. To me, it's pretty obvious looking at the first round of people that he's pardoned. He's pardoned actual murderers, killers of women and children, these Blackwater guys, where, and it's kind of like, is he going to pardon? Well, he pardoned, a racist sheriff, right? That was his first test to see what would happen. Let's pardon that racist sheriff that, he's basically, going after individuals that on the very right, extremists, are held as heroes for what they're doing. And he's just feeding his base, after fleecing them out of tens of millions of dollars in this fake election thing. So pardons for cash is happening, in my opinion. Obviously, I have no evidence, my opinion. I think it would be an easy hack, and it's in anyone with the temperament of Trump and someone who thinks I can get away with anything, I will. If I can make a buck off it, I will. If there's someone who is not only a sociopath is someone who really only cares for himself and doesn't give a fuck about anyone else, whether they have to pay $75,000 on average for their corona, whether they get sick at his rallies, whether, their kids in cages, it goes on and on and on. The evidence that he's a sociopath is overwhelming. So tell me what you think. Is Trump doing pardons for cash? As I think he is, because it'd be such an easy way to kind of get away with it, unless you really, really look into it. And I hope people are really, really looking into it. where if there's any money coming out of any of these individuals or the organizer around them going into a super PAC that then goes into Trump PAC, right? Or you don't even know. You'll just know money went out, and there's absolutely no. It'd be very hard to, not impossible, but extremely hard to determine. But do you think pardons for cash, is that what Trump is doing? I think so.